wonderful turnout, and you did make all my chairs look pathetic, so thank you. Speaking of thank yous, huge thank you to my cast, because they're all seniors, and all they want to do is drink for the past 2 weeks, and I've been to courses every night, and for O'Hara for coming too, because I know he just wants to be drinking, so. I appreciate you all. Can we give a big round of applause to Jody for playing? If you have the program, the most important page on the program is the last page, which is the thank you page, because so many people have reached out and helped me in a million ways, and I couldn't have possibly made this what it is without literally almost every single person in this department. So look at those names, acknowledge them, and know that there's about probably 400 other names that I did not put on the program who deserve to be on there. Okay, so what this is. Well, seniors amongst you and in the back, we're graduating in a week. And looking back on these 4 years, sometimes it feels like 4 seconds, and sometimes it feels like 4 decades, but I guess it's an amazing part of your life that truly changes you, and there's nothing you can do about that. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to do for my thesis, I knew I wanted to do something theatrical and tell some sort of story, and the best story seemed to be what these 4 years do. So I was originally going to write an abstract cabaret that would basically show you the path of a college student. And I was like, well, I'm not a writer, so I need some sort of material, so I decided to interview seniors to have them just give me material, and then I'm sitting there with like pages of transcripts and interviews. I was like, how the fuck am I gonna start this? And I realized, Kayla, you're not a playwright, so instead of writing it, just use what they said and let them tell the story. So everything that you are hearing tonight is word for word taken from the interviews I had with 15 different senior AOs and MTOs. And then I threw a couple songs in there to make it a little more like musical theater, spice it up a little bit. We always need some jazz hands. But overall, I think it's a pretty good job of telling the idea of the ups and the downs that we go through in college. And that's it. So enjoy whatever it is that it is before it gets inspiring.
Pleased to inform you that the theater faculty has recommended you for admittance into the BFA program.
We believe you have the potential to develop into a fine actor,
singer, and dancer,
capable of pursuing a career in theater.
I extend my congratulations on your acceptance into the BFA program. We look forward to your being a member of the Department of Theater and Dance.
No words, my tears won't make any room for more, and it don't hurt like anything I've ever felt before. This is too much to hold, no familiar scars, this territory goes uncharted. Just me, in a room sucked down in a house in a town, and I don't breathe, though I never meant to let it get away from me. This is too much to hold, everybody has to get their hands on gold, and I want uncharted. Stuck under the ceiling, I can't help but feeling I'm going down. Follow if you want, I won't just hang around. Like you show me where to go, I'm already out. A foolproof idea, so don't ask me how to get started. It's all uncharted. La 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 la.
because she always had a picture of me on the first day of school. And then that never happened again. That was the last first day of school photo.
No!
You always think it's gonna be a good experience. You know, like my first roommate, she was a girl I went to high school with, and we were so excited. But then I knew there was gonna be some issues the moment we bought the futon, which was before we even moved in. So we were like, okay, so who's paying for this? And that wasn't established, so that was the first awkward moment when I was like, God damn it, what did I get myself into? But it wasn't completely a bad experience. But it wasn't exactly a good experience because it's two women living in a tight space. So I was the clean one, and she was the messy one. And she wasn't just messy, like clothes on the floor, everywhere, you know. It was like gross in the fact that there was a pizza box that had been sitting there for 2 months and there was mold growing under her bed, and even sometimes mold in the clothes that hadn't been washed for months. It was a problem. And those horror stories that you hear but you never think they'll happen to you, it happened to me. I'm that horror story. And there's even those awkward moments of being sexiled from your room. And it happened like 2 days later, and I came home and her boyfriend were there, and I was like, clearly not welcome. So I was like, all right, I got it. So I'm gonna go for a few hours, but I'm gonna come back at 6 o'clock because I gotta do homework. And they're like, okay, cool. And I think I'm being a good roommate because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you guys your space, even though our room is not a private lover's getaway, but whatever. So then I came back at 6 o'clock and there were clothes literally laid out on the floor in like the way you would picture people having sex. It was just disturbing. And I remembered I only had one rule, and it was don't have sex on the futon. And they totally did it on the futon! And I don't even know how you can tell, maybe by like the way the suede was patterned on the futon, or like the smell in the room, or just, it's almost like the air in the room is trying to tell you. And I don't have a problem with people having sex, but I do have a problem with people not doing anything to cover it up. And I'm like, thinking, oh, well, I know why you didn't have sex on your bed and on the futon, because there is mold everywhere. And that sounds exaggerated, but it's really not. There were mold in places that you knew there could be mold, but there was also mold in places I didn't even know there could be mold. Luckily, my bed was by the window, so some nights I could stick my head up to breathe.
I think that some people forget that, you know, this business, the theater business, it takes a little toll on you, and it sort of steals a piece of your soul. And I think that I used to think of the world a lot differently. I think I used to, and I still try to do that. I think I thought the world was a nicer place, a lot nicer. And then I came here and I was like, you know, people aren't so nice all the time. And I didn't understand that because I grew up in Europe, you know, treat people with kindness and respect. And of course, not everybody is like that, but also like the cornfield I grew up in, that's how everybody treated each other. And so coming here was a lot different. You know, it's super competitive. At my school, we were competitive, but we were happy for each other. And we were proud of our work, and here, not all the time are people proud or happy for you. Because that's just kind of the way. And you're just busy, and you get tired, and you get grouchy, and conform to the society that is this department. And you change very quickly. I think I changed to how I am more now in literally just a month. That's all it took. I mean, of course you develop and you change overall, but the main ideas and the set-in and like how it works, a month. And you just click into it. You have to, or you won't make it.
It was really scary. First semester, I was a hot mess. We were all a hot mess. You're trying to know what you're doing, and you think you're good, and you're like, why do they like this person and not this? You're trying to like know what you're doing, but you can't know what you're doing. On the first day of acting, Drew made me put a blanket in the middle of a table, and then he gave me the word betrayal, and I was like, that's not an emotion, like that's an action, like that's not an emotion. And he was like, no, betrayal's an emotion. And I was like, no, feeling betrayed is an emotion, but betrayal is actually like a verb. And he was like, stop thinking. And then he gave me the word happiness, and I was like, shit. Stop thinking? Okay. I was a hot mess.
We hate losers,
No one likes a loser.
which is why we discipline. God hates losers.
You are a winner.
Because losers do not know how to win.
We have faith in you.
I hope you can love me, America. I've gone in for first prize. Here's why you should love me, America. My needs I cannot overemphasize. I make myself crazy, being who my dads hope I'll be. But what about me, dads? What about me? Jesus Christ! What about me?
Practice your breathing.
Though I practice yoga, I don't breathe. I try not to disappoint, but still I disappoint the dads who my friends mock. Kids are mean, kids will talk. All my so-called friends roll their eyes, they're incredibly petty. Because my dads are my dads, and alright enough already. Woe is me, woe is me. Which is why I've gotta win this spelling bee. So we go into class and throw away everything we have rehearsed. And we would just sit there and say the lines. And Mr. Wancher would be like, this is brilliant. You guys must have worked so long on this. And we were like, totally?
Lives in Kansas, Mo, in a trailer in the park. Tomatoes. And now she sends a car, life, and then she cries from her heart. She would like to see me when I groan and I burst like a comet. But I'm so stressed by my stress, I just wanna up and vomit.
Be smart, be cool, be an adult, be remarkably adroit in social situations. Be smart, be cool, be smart, be cool, be smart, be cool, be smart, be. Which is why you gotta win, which is why you gotta win this spelling
I remember even when I first auditioned here, one of the notes I got from my monologue was to be more simple. And I thought about that for a minute before I started, and I thought, what does that mean? What?
This is silly, but we were doing leaps across the floor in our jazz class with Christy, and I got used as an example. And it was just like a proud moment. Like I got to leap by myself, and Christy was just like, see how his legs, how he just goes up, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know. Like, it's silly, but that was a fun moment. That was a good moment.
Trying not to fail rather than do something productive. Being super busy all the time, I wasn't trying to like create this fantastic piece of art. I was literally trying to get by. Trying to learn and like do what I think is right, banking on the fact that the teachers are gonna tell me what's good and what's bad.
My first class ever was acting one with Drew. And it was in that class that I decided, I'm glad I came. My very first class. It was just Drew.
So you go in to talk to her, not just about that problem, but like other, not just issues, but things that you're experiencing. And it's good, bad, up, down, extreme or not. And then over the years, you just keep talking. And then you're talking about acting class, and acting class somehow relates to something you're going through. Just stuff. And then she's always been there in the rough times, but she's always there in the good ones too. And I don't know, it gets you through the shitty parts of college. But it's not just the shitty parts of college, it gets you through growing up.
Now there you are. Yes, there's that face that somehow I trust. It may embarrass you to hear me say it, but say it I must, say it I must. You have the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth.
I feel like there are some people you meet in your life who know you better than you know yourself.
Yet there's that upturned chin and the grin of impetuous youth.
She just knows me, even when I'm putting on a face.
Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. I hear the sound of good, solid judgment whenever you talk.
He's just had my back since the beginning.
Yet there's the bold, brave spring of the tiger that quickens your walk.
Every time I have a problem, she knows exactly what to say to me.
Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. And when my faith in my fellow man all but falls apart, I've but to feel your hand grasping mine, and I take heart. I take heart to feel the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth.
Because she gets me. She doesn't judge.
Yet there's that slam, bang, tang, reminiscent of gin and vermouth.
Well, she judges people, but not in a detrimental way.
I believe in you.
Because it's not that I put her on a pedestal and I'm looking up to her and I want to be like that. But it's like you're saying, I want to know myself like she knows herself as a person. And strive towards being that grounded and being that self-aware. And being that happy. And if it's not being that happy, because you know obviously going is rough sometimes, it's knowing how to problem solve when the issues come. And I want to be like that.
Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you.
You realize, oh, this is where I belonged all my life. Okay, now I'm on the right path. And you're really, really happy and excited and you're drinking a lot and making lots of stupid choices with several different people.
They decided to take everything away from us just to give it right back. Like to literally take up our souls. They beat everything out of us. Habits, ideas, everything. It's kind of like the scare tactic thing. Like if you're actually going to do it or not.
I think you were supposed to grow. People, artists, etc. I think, well, personally, I did feel like I grew a lot. I just don't know if I was satisfied in my growth.
The thing is, coming into school, ballet was my favorite thing, and he totally ruined it. And I know he's coming from a really good point where he's like, I want you to be better because I know you can be better, but he would just harp on me, and it was like, it got to the point where I was like, yes, I really want to do better, but I'm not going to do better at this very moment. I need to let that sink in. I know it's because they like see that I can do better, and that they want me to do better, and that's why they're doing it. So it's like flattering, but I still like to want to rip my face off.
There were a couple of classes like that. It was like they were encouraging me to stop more than they were encouraging me to keep going. I think it's a flaw in humans. I mean, from my standpoint, everyone in this business, if you want to succeed, they're willing to work until they're incredibly tired. Because theater is just so damn important to everyone in it. And if it's not that important, then like, why are you here, you know? And because it's such a big community, and I think because we're all in it together, so we're willing to go to our breaking point for it. And I think sometimes we're willing too much, so we break down.
But movement. I just felt terrible. I felt like I was accomplishing nothing. No matter how aware I was receiving nothing back from the world around me. And when I was more aware, I was more aware of other people doing stupid shit.
But that was the most successful I've ever felt here.
don't know why. I mean, I got it, and it was like, that was it. Literally, I felt like I was on top of the world. I was like, I can't do anything wrong, you know? And that was an amazing feeling to have.
If I do one more sun salutation, I will stab myself.
The idea that no matter what setback comes into your life, if you just keep moving forward, you're not alone. I think beyond the theatrical realm, that's all in all a good philosophy to have. No matter what setback comes into your life, you still have to wake up.
It's like the day in the life of a woman on her period. You have to go through all these specific mood swings before you get to the tears.
It's kind of funny because I feel like I had a better grasp of what I was doing freshman year, and then they just tore me apart, and they were like, nope, you're an idiot, and you suck. And I was like, I felt very lost. I can remember my general auditions and just being like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't feel prepared on what I'm doing, and I've worked on this all semester.
I think there are lots of different kinds of self-doubt. Like, there's personal self-doubt, which is like when people would tell me I'm crazy. Because I already knew I was crazy, and I already know I'm on medication and I have issues, and then they tell you you're crazy. You're like, well, okay, can you just let me be crazy, please? And then you have your teachers telling you you're not talented enough, when you already know that because you're not on the cast list. They don't say anything in class.
Before it gets inspiring, it needs to get shitty. You have to start by sucking at the things that inspire you, and so you feel like you're not going anywhere. Nothing's going to happen to you. You can't actually do this, and you have your circle of friends by that time. So you're able to talk to them about how you're not going, you're going anywhere. You're going to suck, and no one's going to like you in your career. Everybody says don't. Everybody says don't. Everybody says don't. It isn't nice. Don't. It isn't right. Everybody says don't. Everybody says don't. Everybody says don't walk on the grass. Don't disturb the peace. Don't skate on the ice. Well, I say do. I say what's meant to feel. I say sail. Tell them the windmill, and if you fail, you fail.
Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't. Get out of line when they say that that's a sign. 9 times out of 10, lately we're doing just fine.
Make just a ripple. Come on, be brave.
This time a ripple, next time a wave. Sometimes you have to start small, climbing the tiniest wall. Maybe you're going too far.
But it's better than not starting at all.
Everybody says don't, everybody says stop. Everybody says mustn't rock the boat, mustn't touch a thing.
Everybody says don't. Everybody says wait. Everybody says can't upset the cart. Can't laugh at the king. Can't laugh at the king.
I say try. I say things will make you cry. Lose your voice. But you have to believe me. Everybody says don't.
Everybody says stop.
Everybody says wait around for miracles.
That's the way the world is made.
This is a miracle.
If you do that,
Miracle.
nothing to that.
I say don't.
Don't be afraid. I think our classes kind of build your spirit, right? I mean, they crush it too, but they fill out a little, where other classes, they just really kill your spirit and like chip away at it. But they may build your mind, sure, but our classes are all about making you a fuller person. Personality, I don't know. Because it's just about human interaction.
It applies to a lot of people that, because we have so much acting classes where you have to talk about personal things and like throw it all out there, that we're so in touch with ourselves engaging other people, that when we meet a normal person, we're like, you literally have no idea who you are.
Sometimes I'm like, are you a little bit retarded?
I think you're a bit emotionally stunted.
And then I remember it's just because they're not us.
Yeah.
In our classes, we're encouraged
to share opinions, like even if they're controversial, like Beth's classes especially. It's like to tell your deepest, darkest secrets about yourself. And I don't know when other people get to do that, or even feel like it's okay to do that. Like even with their friends, I imagine they just like sit around and talk about like socially acceptable things.
Football.
And we're encouraged to do crazy things that make us look stupid on the daily. The river game. We look like idiots.
I mean, throw a stick at a normal person and they're gonna follow.
Well, the self-doubt started happening for me sophomore year, I remember. And then I remember one of our teachers, I won't name names, but they called me fat. And that was just, they just pulled me aside after class and they were like, you know, you're really chunky. And I was like, okay, thanks. And they were like, you need to go to the gym. And that has always been something with me because I'm the ugly one in my house. And so when I heard that, because there are days where if I'm not wearing makeup or if I don't have my hair a certain way, I don't want to step outside. Like, I feel like I look hideous in all these different ways. Like, I grew up in a society where you have to wear makeup. Like, I got makeup in the 5th grade. And so, when I got that comment, I was already doubting my acting ability and everything. And so when I got that comment that I was chubby, it was like, I already get that enough when I'm home. So having to hear that, really?
There was one night when there was a big blizzard, and I asked people to stay. I just didn't want to be by myself that night. That was when I was living by myself. I am never living by myself. That's a decision. But there was a blizzard, and I was all by myself, and the heat went out in my apartment, and I was just like, here I am. No heat. There's so much snow, I can't go out anywhere. So I was just praying that something didn't happen to me. And luckily, an hour and a half later, my heat came back on. But I was just in my apartment all alone. I felt like I was going to die. That was one moment when I felt so on my own.
I like to pretend my life's this perfect little bubble, even though I know that it's not. But I like to keep it as perfect as possible because when things fall apart, I don't know what to do. I just doubt myself all the time, which I know that's dumb. I know that's really dumb, but that's what this year's been about, doubting myself and comparing myself to other people. And what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting called back, you know? I'm so done crying, but I don't know how to stop because I feel so lost. And I can patch it all up and be fine, but there are still moments of self-doubt, which there always will be, but I just hope that my beacon of light will come back eventually.
She told me I was terrible in my show. And then the others who, at the time, were like, oh, it was your greatest work, it's your best work, it was so great, blah, blah, blah. They didn't back me up, and so they all started like slowly agreeing with each other, and they became the multiple voices instead of one voice I heard throughout, you know what I mean? And so I was just really confused, and I felt not like betrayed, but I thought, whoa. So am I supposed to take everything you say with a grain of salt right now? Because I thought you thought this one thing, and now you're thinking something totally contradicting, and so that was just really confusing to me, and I had a meltdown. I didn't know what else to turn to, and they told me all this stuff, and I don't know what to believe, and I don't know who to trust, and I'm just so confused.
Take back the books and pack up the clothes. Clear out the room and drop off the key. Leave with what's left of my dignity. Get in the car just to go. Chalk it all up to experience. They said I'd fail, but I disagreed. Who could say then where my path would lead? Well, now I
like, what's your life anymore? You don't know, because why am I even here? Why do people care?
Back to the sun, back to the shore, back to what I was before. Lying on the beach, dream within reach, don't stray beyond. Some girls fight hard, some face the trial, some girls were just meant to smile. It's not up to me, just let me be. Legally blonde. It's not up to me. Just let me be. Legally
I think sometimes that gives you where you want to go to in life, because nearly failing at something always makes you look at it in a different way. You nearly fail and you're like, whoa, I thought I could do this, maybe I can't. And it forces you to take a step back and look at your life and look at your choices. It's like a slap in the face. Like, do you really want to do this? Or are you just saying you want to do this because this is what you've always done? Nearly failing always gives you that extra oomph, like, no, I'm gonna pass it.
They were like, so you can either get out of the pity party or get out of theater. And I was like, okay. And I just remember that moment kicked my butt forevermore, and it kind of clicked inside my head, you know? Like, I can sit here and get frustrated at whatever class, or I can get frustrated about what's going on in life and have my own pity party or whatever. But if I don't get out of that, then it's time to get out of theater. So I made that decision during that winter break, that I'm done, you know? This has happened, and I have to go forward.
It's like when a kid is really angry and they get sent to timeout for 10 minutes to cry at the wall, punch it if they need to, and then emerge enlightened. That's what college is. College is timeout. You get out all the shit, you get out all your anger, all your pride, everything that people have told you before in high school. They said you couldn't be a slut. And you say, well, you know what? I'm going to go do that. That's not what I meant. I meant the things that you're told in high school, and then you get mad at them for saying that, and then you go try it all out, and then you're like, okay, they were right when they said it, now I'm right for thinking that they were right. I've been through all I needed to go through, and I'm done fighting now. And sometimes they put a cone on your head just to top it all off. You have to go through the embarrassment as well.
I remember talking to Wendy and being like, you know, a door closes, open a window. If life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade, but make orange juice. I'm a big believer that experience is what you make of it. I'm the biggest believer in that. I rarely have pity for people who are upset with their production or are upset with something that they don't like about a show, and if they complain about it, I say then fix it and do something else. Like, this is a learning process. You are at school to learn. You're not here to be in a show or be the star. You are here to learn that part for that. And I know that they purposely put us in our parts and like how the politics fall. We don't all like it. But I'm a big person about what you get out of something.
And since then, I've been getting the Wendy Smize light the whole time. I mean, everyone knows the Wendy Smize when you say something and she goes across the room. It's like a small wink. Or like what Dumbledore does to Harry across the Great Hall.
It was only one night. That scene, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it and I felt blamed for it, but it was a partnership. Like, neither of us were good at the scene and that's fine. But that one night, we knew we had them, we knew we had the audience, and we were in it ourselves. At least that's how I was thinking. I was like, we rocked that scene, and after we left, I just stood outside and I was like, ah! And I went down to the green room, and he walked in, and he went, yes, and I went, yay! And we just shared that moment of it being on. It was such a beautiful moment of partnership. He never looked at me in the whole scene, except at the very end. And we knew we were on. We knew we had the audience, and I don't know, I just never had that feeling before. And to do it so separately and to not even talk to each other, and at the end you just know it was right, you just don't get that all the time.
I think this year I realized that I don't have to do anything but me.
I can just do the work. I hate when people say that, but just do it without being in my head and without worrying. Just do the problem. Solve the problem. I can't really explain that click that happened, and I don't know why it happened, but I was like, okay, I know that this is good.
And then the fact that I could just call up a straight guy and be like, hey, can we throw a party over the fact that I came out a year ago? And they were like so excited to jump on that, they like decorated it without even saying you want decorations. And they just went ahead and decorated it like more than they would for any other party. It was very resolving.
One thing I wish I did differently was probably putting too much faith in instilling too much power in the fact. I think it's very easy sophomore, freshman year when you're new to the department, you have all these goals set in your mind. I think it's very easy to see the powers that be and try to appease them and make sure you're doing the right thing. So you're becoming the best artist you can be, but I think the more you get tangled in trying to gain the validation from your teachers, you lose sight of yourself. I think personally my biggest thing sophomore, freshman year, the constant need to make sure I was showing that not only was I grateful for being here, but that I was doing the right thing.
Okay, but you know all the faculty have tried a drug or two, and they've totally fucked up, and we've already done some of that, and we're about to do a lot more of it, even if for better or for worse.
Freshman year, we all came in as who we are, and then people told us who we should try to be, and then we all try to fit, and we're like, no, it's okay to do this. It's okay if I want to wear girly dresses and little saddle Oxfords and bows in my hair. It's okay if Lori wants Amy Winehouse hair because she loves it. That's okay.
I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and that's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise, I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is a sham till you can scream out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my own deck, sometimes the ace, sometimes the deuces. There's one life and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I
As happy as this. Like, I'm one of those people where if something did, I would do it. Like, if something ever made me as happy as acting makes me, I'd be like, well, fuck this. This is hard as fuck.
I guess this is obvious, but I don't really regret any of the decisions I've made because I feel as though the aftermath has actually made me a better person.
Even though I feel like I've taken steps back, and even though I said I had regrets, I ultimately feel like I don't regret anything. Because I feel like the journey I'm on, like every time you fall down or anytime you get ahead, there's a reason. And I feel like it's ultimately making you stronger. So I feel like whatever path you go on is kind of where you're meant to be, and you're gonna get to where you're supposed to be.
I guess a lot of what college is, like you hear all these cliche statements and you're like, you think not everyone goes through them, and then you realize that's why they're cliches. It's because everybody goes through it.
Even though I don't hang out regularly with everyone in our class, I love everyone in our class like they're my family. It's like I'm not going to see my Uncle Joe every day, but I know my Uncle Joe is there and would help me if I had a rough time. And I could call Uncle Joe, you know? I feel like I have that with anybody in our class. I don't hang out with everybody regularly, but if I ever really needed somebody, I could just call these 20 people and I'd be okay.
I never thought, ever in my life, ever, that I would be like, I want to leave college. Ever. Because who thinks that? Everyone's always like, I want to go back to college. And then I think it was over the summer, after having one of the most incredible school years of my life and going to New York and being able to audition for shit, that I was like, I feel like I'm ready. There are 9 billion other people in the world who are younger and doing more shit. So I'm like, I do feel like I'm able to leave college happily.
Life still kind of sucks. Life is still kind of sucky, but it's more in a perspective where I can handle it better. Because I know now what I didn't know then, and I know there are options. There will always be options, like nothing is ever black and white. So yeah, I know, I guess, more about myself and other people around me, so it's easier for me to assess what needs to be done. Of course, every now and then you have those relapse moments and you're like, I just want to go back and be a kid and not have to deal with any of this shit. But then you look at it and you're like, no, I don't.